Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Siri Emerald here. Let's see if we can angle this up a little bit more. How y'all doing? Good, good. So I've been holding off on this because, well, I wanted to be able to see the UV features that it has. And I think I've waited long enough. So, you guys are probably familiar with this figure already. So, thanks for bearing with me here. I didn't get the road-worn Thor, and I kind of wish I did now. And that's what makes it so darn difficult, because, gosh, like at Christmas, man, that killed me. What was it, like 10 figures or something like that that came out in a month? Jeez. We do have other things we need to spend our money on. Nice little shadow box for your figures. I've never seen anybody ever display them in there, but you certainly can display your figures right in these little boxes here. If you have no other place to display them, put them inside the box, and that will keep the dust off them. And these are the UV. These are some of the UV pieces that, from my understanding, will glow in the black light. And his eyes. There he is in the box. By the way, I opened up all my Spider-Mans to put them on display. I had the Homecoming Spider-Man on display. I put my Iron Spider up, and I put my... I'll show you how I did that. I like this. I like how I displayed this too. This is how I did the homemade suit. Right there. I really like this guy. He's kind of reminiscent of, what was his name? When Ben Reilly was Spider-Man back during the Clone Wars. So that's where I decided to pose him. Just like this. And this figure actually comes with the battle-damaged head sculpt of Peter Parker, Tom Holland. So that's what I decided to do with that. And I have him sitting next to my 45, Concept 46, and my 47. He's on that shelf. And then, you guys already seen, I think, my Spider-Man Homecoming. How I posed him. I'll pull him over here and show you. This is how I decided to do my Spider-Man Homecoming. I used the webbing and bent it just a little bit to get it into this angle, and then acted like as if it was splatted to the ceiling there. So that's him right there. I don't know if you can see that all the way up there. Let's angle this a little bit. How's that? Is that good? You can see get to see the ceiling up there, huh? Noble, how's it going, man? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping in this morning. So I like this, and then I'll show you my Iron Spider. I really think I did a really good job posing him. I swear, man, it's getting to the point where you have to buy multiples of every one of these figures. Not because you want to resell it, but just to be able to pose it in the many incarnations that they provide you. Different coats, different head sculpts. I mean, yeah, what happens is if you have one, you get tired of looking at it and you go and you dig your stuff out and you change them up a little bit and you make them look a little different. Put them in a different pose, put them in different clothing. But sometimes, man, you just want to be able to pose him up and show him in all the different incarnations. So this is how I did my Iron Spider. And I'm really pleased with that. It's kind of reminiscent of a comic book pose of the Iron Spider. As best as I could, the arms don't work like that for the comic pose, but this is how I got him. Let's get this down here a little bit. I really like how that turned out. So I have his little iron tentacles, or I guess they're appendages, his legs touching here, but that's not what's supporting him, of course. These would support him, but I just did it like that. And this is what I chose for him. And I think it really turned out good. And oh, by the way, I got the batteries in here, and this looks really cool. I need to take them out, but I left them in to show you guys. I really like those eyes on there. I think they look really good. That's cool. They light up nicely. Really impressed with that. And if you look in them, it just kind of gives this, I don't know, this believable depth to them. Sometimes the Iron Man eyes, they don't look very believable when they're lit up because you can see the magic behind it more or less. You can see the actual bulb. But this is diffused just right so that you can't see that. So I really dig that. That is really, 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 really cool. Really cool. Really digging that. So that's my Spider-Mans that I've been working on this last week and then posed up. Take the batteries out of this. Don't want to leave the batteries in them. I have a whole box of batteries. And of course, yesterday, Hot Toys announced Captain Marvel, and it looks sweet. And there's two versions of it, and I'm making a video of that. There's your standard version and the deluxe version. And the deluxe version adds an extra, I don't know exactly what it is, I haven't seen the movie, some type of a photon blast and her cat, which again, don't know anything about the cat. And it adds this really cool bomber jacket, or this pilot's jacket, which looks really cool. She comes with 3 head sculpts, and there's a lot of collectors that state they don't like, the natural hair or whatever that we get in Scarlet Witch and Black Widow, Maria Hill, some of the other characters. Maria Hill comes with real hair? No, she came with sculpted hair. But some of them come with the real hair, like I said, Scarlet Witch and Black Widow. And so people will say, well, how come they don't give it sculpted hair? And I understand collectors that say that. And it's difficult sometimes if you give it a hairstyle that doesn't want to function right. And the Captain Marvel's hair, if they would have made it like real, it would have looked kind of like I imagine Scarlet Witch's does. And sometimes I have some problems with my Scarlet Witch hair. It's just kind of seems a little fluffier than it should be. My Gamora hair seems to be all right. And some of my Black Widows are kind of a little more fluffy than they should be. But the so this is going to be sculpted on the Captain Marvel. And I think that's all right, I guess. You get 2 eye patches right here. Batteries for I don't know what. I didn't think the Stormbringer lit up. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'll have to see where the batteries go. Maybe they go in his chest. And I don't know why I want Thor to have his cloak. I like him with his cloak. And even with the Thor Ragnarok Gladiator version, he still has a cloak. All eat up, but it's still a cloak. And I like that. And don't know if you guys seen Spider-Verse. I like how Miles talks about wearing a cape. What's going on, Rick? How you doing, man? Using our made-up name. Yeah, we're on Doctor Strange. I'm very picky when getting my orders from BBTS because this past summer they added sales tax to my state, and it's like $16 or $17 per Hot Toys, which is the same price as shipping from Sideshow. Wow. Well, what state is that forced BBTS to add sales tax? I've seen that that announcement, and I'll tell you, when I order from Sideshow, for instance, and I live here in California, where Sideshow is, I pay almost $20 in shipping compared to BBTS, $4. Now it takes a little bit longer from BBTS because I choose the $4 option. You could choose like a overnight option and you can pay more. But I pay $20 from Sideshow, and it don't come any quicker. And I mean, it takes like a week and a half in California, and I pay sales tax in California because I'm buying from California. So after it's all said and done, every figure that I buy from Sideshow costs me about an extra $40 because the sales tax is 8.5%. So I really try to avoid Sideshow at all costs. But there are exclusive figures, for instance, it's Captain Marvel exclusive or deluxe version. I don't believe BBTS is going to be offering that version. The BBTS standard version, Captain Marvel, is $242.99, and like I said, it doesn't come with the cat. It doesn't come with the bomber jacket or fighter pilot jacket or whatever, and it doesn't come with that extra photon blast. But like I was also saying, it gets to the point where it's like you might want to order 2 figures. You might want to get just the standard one, buy it from BBTS, saving the shipping and tax for me especially. Buy the deluxe from Sideshow to get the extra pieces, and then be able to display both. Because she comes with 3 head sculpts. She comes with the sculpted hair, which I was just talking about a little bit ago. She comes with 2 of the mohawks. One is like a sculpted gold mohawk, looks really good, and the other one appears that it lights up. That looks really cool. So I think it's an awesome looking figure. It looks like to me like it's going to be like the Iron Spider figure in regards to the material that it's made out of. It's supposed to come 4th quarter, so that's as early as October. And sometimes Hot Toys is quick, sometimes Hot Toys is slow. We'll definitely have it before Christmas, I believe. And I am hoping that the movie will be a hit because she's going to be, like, if I understand correctly, the continuation of the leadership that the Avengers more or less had. If I'm understanding everything correctly. Because, you know, Captain America's out, Iron Man's out, and these feet feel really loose. The things about these figures is a lot of times I like to display them without a stand if I can get away with it. If I can display it without a stand, I would much rather. But if their figures, if the ankles are loose, you kind of are forced into a stand. These ankles feel a little too movable for me. I wonder if I slide the top of the boot down, if it will lock it in any better. Give me some more stability there. And I just feel, this feels, and the knee too kind of feels loose. It just feels like I'm going to have to use a figure stand no matter for this figure. So this is a kind of a little different look, but the same look. So he has, this kind of material that we've seen on Thor for many of the movies, but he's all like dark and black, and that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed the interaction between Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my God, Star-Lord and Thor were so damn funny. And Drax, he's like, "This is a man god. You are a sandwich away from being fat or something like that." God, that was so funny. North Carolina, they're turning into a state kind of like California. It sounds like, where they're going to start hacking on everybody. BBTS says the Captain Marvel Deluxe. What? Get the fuck out of here. Get the bleep out of here. I'm going to have to get on that right freaking now. You're kidding me. I didn't know they had the deluxe. Beepity 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 beep. Boopity boop. Excuse me while I take care of a little business. Y'all don't mind, do you? Let me let that load. Slowest computer on the planet for Windows 8. Gosh darn it. I didn't want to upload to Windows 10. I waited on that. Didn't get the Windows 10. And we use a lot of Windows 10 at work. Got Windows 7. We got it all at work. And upgraded a lot of them to Windows 10. And I wasn't really pleased with it at first. It's growing on me. I didn't want to jump on it here at the house. I didn't want to be stuck with something I didn't like. So I decided to stick with this Windows 8 laptop. What a mistake. I should have hopped on that Windows 10. I don't think Microsoft is offering it free anymore. I may have to see if I can find that. I also just juggle with the idea. Oh, look at this. Four of them. You don't ever get four. Four is great. Four is fantastic. I also juggle with the idea of throwing a Windows 7 on there. I really like Windows 7. And I know there's guys out there that are, and girls. When I say guys, I just mean y'all. It doesn't mean anything like men or whatever. I don't think like that, man. I just mean, like, I call everyone dude, call everyone guys. Doesn't mean nothing. So yeah, I know there's people out there that are like Linux people, and there's people out there that are Apple people, and hey, I have no problem with any of that. I just happen to be a Windows person, and Windows 7 is my preferred format. Windows XP was great. Windows Vista wasn't really a major problem. It was a little mess because it took away all of our administrative rights without having to go through 28 steps to be able to do anything, which was stupid. And Windows 10, Windows 8, they went right back to that same thing that Windows Vista's problem was. And Windows 10 kind of merged that with Windows 7. Definitely, no doubt about it, they want to take away your right to do anything to your computer, which makes it interesting for those of us that fix them for a living. Maintain them. So yeah, it's kind of like the mechanic that never fixes his own car, or the contractor who never rebuilds his own house. Woo! Work on everybody else's stuff, you end up not working on your own. Totally knocked Thor right in the back of the head. That was a Thanos pop. Dude, I hope we get the Black Order, man. That would be sweet. Our first official look at new Avengers in-game costumes that Iron Man armor. What? Where was that? Was that a new a new trailer? A new in-game trailer? Man, I hate watching them because I don't want to be I still want to be surprised when I see the movie. Sometimes they really ruin it. What? Come on, you stupid computer. I pay for very high speed internet, and this computer just doesn't want me to experience it. So, again, this would have been another one that you might want to had ordered two of, because you have either his clothed arms or his bare arms. I like how when Thor shows up, I think it's Bruce Banner says, "You guys are in trouble now." At the end of Infinity War. So the cape comes off, and then I assume you can put this on, and there's where the batteries go. So you can display him without the cape. Which I think is how he was on the ship, wasn't he? Without his cape. This leg seems longer than the other one for some reason. My right leg seems longer than my left one. And I don't know what these extra little pieces are. I suppose I should read the instruction manual, right? What world are these? Go under here? What's the necessity of them? One's a little larger than the other. Different uniform variations? One's thinner than the other. So these two little pieces here on his chest piece, one's thinner than the other. I don't know why that's important. Interesting. I guess uniform change. I guess from the difference of him being on the ship and him being on planet, I guess they had different sized ones. Interesting that that would be such a minor detail. I mean, I suppose it really wouldn't be a minor detail if that's really what it is. Kind of like the R2 units from Star Wars, where the legs, some of them face this way and some of them face that way, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, interchangeable arms, interchangeable wrist pieces. You can go on the bare arms or on these arms. UV light up eyes. So you can go with either the eyeball or the patch. So again, order multiples of these, displaying with the patch or displaying with his eye. And I'm curious if it's different colored eyes too. I'm going to put glasses on so I can have a look at that. BTS probably finally popped. You're saying it's sold out, huh? Jeez, come on, you stupid computer. Why is this thing out of focus now? Now my camera's going to be out of focus? Jeez. Let's have a look at his eye. It's just a magnifying glass. Oh yeah, sure enough. You got his blue eye on the left and his mechanical eye on the right. You should have washed that before putting that in. To smuggle it out, I had to. Says the Bucky. How much for the gun? It's not for sale. How much for the arm? Come with me, rabbit. Two styles of body armor can be interchanged as shown. Styling with cape, alternative style without cape. So I guess if you are using the cape, you use the bigger one. If you're using it without the cape, you use the thinner one. I guess that's what that is. Don't rub the arms with thinner, benzene, alcohol, or any corrosive materials which could damage the material. Don't get the arms in touch with sharp objects, fire, or heat to avoid material change. What in the world would you want to be putting fire on your figure for in the first place? Are there some of y'all out there that put fire on your figures? Because that's kind of beyond me. Diecast Stormbreaker. Yeah, it's kind of like Mjolnir. You have the plastic Mjolnirs and you have the diecast Mjolnirs. They definitely need diecast shields for Captain America. There's a problem, though, with, I guess, the paint on the diecast shields. Some people complain about the paint coming off on the diecast shields compared to the plastic shields. But I really like the diecast shields. I really like how they... they look. And I like the magnet one on his arms. That's so much easier than the popping through and breaking. Gosh darn, that plastic shield on my Captain America Infinity War. What a hassle. Put that shield on and off. What in the absolute world were they even thinking when they did that? So let's have a good look at these. Look at these. Because there's two patches. One's got like a gold on it. And I don't remember when he wore the two different patches. But yeah, we have both eye patches here. No doubt about that. The black one and the one with the gold trim on it. Right there. And it looks like it just attaches right onto it. Just magnetizes on. Speaking of, the eyes on the Spider-Man figures, on the Iron Spider and the Homecoming Spider, are totally interchangeable. So you can put either eye on either one, and they're identical, the same eyes. So the only difference is with the Spider-Man Homecoming, you get the death version, I think is what the Friday called it. Killing mode or something. Oh yeah, that went on nicely. Stuck right in there. It's funny because Chris Hemsworth said that it was real difficult to get the patch to stay on his eyes. So from my understanding, they digitized it after a few takes of it not working properly. God, is this in focus? Because it's not in focus on my screen, guys. I hope it's in focus for y'all. The Big Bad Toy Store site. Going through the Hot Toys section. I see the standard version. Do. I don't even see those. Let's turn that off. I'll be doggone. Sold out. Sheesh. You snooze, you lose. Banging the keyboard. Freaking hell. Well, looks like I'm paying an extra $40 for my figure from Sideshow. What the hell? But no, I definitely ordered my one from um, Big Bad Toy Store already, and I didn't see the deluxe one, so it must have sold out quickly. Because when I went on the site yesterday afternoon, I seen it yesterday morning. Actually, I seen it yesterday morning when Hot Toys popped it up, and Sideshow and Big Bad Toy Store weren't even open yet, so it wasn't for sale. And then I had work to do, so I had to go to work. And then when I checked later, it was on BBTS, so of course I ordered it, and the deluxe wasn't even on there, so it sold out quickly, and that's encouraging. Anytime a figure sells out like that, it means something. Sometimes, as long as Hot Toys doesn't get crazy and start cranking them out, kind of like they do on some figures, whenever they sell out, next thing you know, there's an overabundance of them, and they're no longer a collectible item. Or even if you have a collectible item, they just re-release it like the Mark 43, exact same MMS number, total sham. I remember talking to Sideshow a few weeks ago about their shipping and all that. Dude, they're like, that's the way things are. Sorry. And I was like, yeah, but BBTS does. And they said, well, we can't comment on how BBTS does things. And I'm like, and you should at least listen to what I'm telling you, because you guys are like totally ripping me off, man. By the way, so I got word from 1/6 Kit like a month ago that the my cable was coming. I think he's called the mechanical, and then he sent out an email saying that it was the wrong item that he said was coming. So I assumed he didn't want me to pay for it. I assumed that it was, a wrong invoice. So he sent me an email yesterday saying, "Hey, you haven't paid for this yet." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought you said it wasn't coming." So now I will be paying for my cable, be getting that, I imagine, in a week or so. It comes from China or Singapore, wherever he is. Hong Kong? I don't even know where he is. No. At least I have some reward points through Sideshow, so I won't have to actually cough up the money for the non-refundable deposit. $15.51 in tax, and shipping's going to be $20, so $35 is what I'll be paying an additional for this figure. Oh, wait a minute. What? They still charge a deposit? They don't use the rewards as a deposit? Oh, you bastards. I buy from them so rarely because of all of that. Da, 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 da. My most anticipated Infinity War figure. Any of the Black Order. All of the Black Order. They've announced with the Corvus Glaive. That's the only one that they've shown us, right? I want them all. I want all four of the Black Order. I want the whole line of that. I don't know what all their names are, but I want. That was it. Four of them. There's the wizard and the girl and the guy that's the size of Hulk. I mean, I want them all. What? Thanos is released? Sheesh. Sell for in-game because midnight tickets will sell out fast. Definitely. Yes, they will. See if I can get these guys off. Take this off first. Just says detached. Doesn't say how to get it out. You tell me? Are you kidding me? Are you telling me that I've got to use a sharp metal object on my Hot Toys? This screw looks nice and big. Probably be easy to get out. The batteries are nice and big. Make them easier to go in. So I'm gonna see if I can't light this guy up. I've not recovered from Christmas on all the figures and my car. So it's real difficult. I got notice that Doctor Strange is ready to ship from Sideshow. My cable from 1/6 Kit. Black Panther, Killmonger. Well, Killmonger they said was coming soon. Like you just said, Thanos has dropped. Oh God, that was so easy going in. That was really easy to put the batteries in this guy. What a breeze. What a change. What a deal. And it says on the back what they are. Right on his back, it actually tells you what the batteries are, so you need to replace them. That's a big question that people are always like, because they throw the batteries out or don't get the batteries that they buy the figure to use. And they'll be like, what batteries even go in here? And you got to check the instruction manual. If you didn't get an instruction manual, then you're really in trouble. But right there it says what the batteries are. So that's cool. I'm trying to use rewards too from Sideshow, but I'm saving mine to order new War Machine. Oh, you mean the, which one? The War Machine, like, okay, so obviously we have the War Machine from Infinity Wars coming. And then you know there's going to be a different War Machine for Endgame. And the Punisher War Machine. Which War Machine are you talking about? Okay. I'll have to check that out then. The new in-game. See if I got my Dropbox on here. I do not. Close all this. Alright. How does this come out? I want to scratch up my figure, man. Let me use the plastic tweezers here. Use a thumbnail. In the world. Jeez. I got one out. Let's have a look at this and see if there's a little notch on there. There's a little notch. So this little notch was on the outside. So let's look for the notch on him. In the world? Alright, so this one just came out. This one just came off. My patch. Put this right here. Where's the where's the frickin' the little wrist peg? I swear, man, I just unplugged this. I'm so stupid. No comment on that. No comment allowed on that. You can't agree with me. That ain't right. Ah, so flesh wrist pegs. Of course. So that's why we get 4. You didn't give us extra dark ones, though. What the hell? Hot Toys loves their tape, man. Love their tape. They tape everything in excess. I'm probably gonna keep this arm. Because all my other Thors are bare armed. I don't have like the first Thor, which I think had this outfit on. I believe all my other Thors are bare armed. So I'm gonna keep the armored arm on him. I believe that's the way I'm gonna go. Let's get back to this sidetrack there. Gotta find that little notch. Well, that little eye patch is staying on there pretty good. I just kind of like placed it there. I didn't even maneuver it or anything. It's staying on there pretty well. Where's that little notch on you? Yeah, there's a notch on that one. There's a notch on the top one. There looks like they're pretty much staying close to the outside with them. Kinda. At least on those 3, they were on the outside of his body. They didn't make this easy, did they? Yeah, that was kind of on the outside. And they only go in certain ways, and the pegs are sized so they only go in a certain way as well. So the notch is on the outside, and when you put these back on, it will be on the outside. Now that we got all that figured out. Jeez. See? Read the instructions. Elpachan. I hope I'm saying that right, man. How's it going, man? Hanging loose? All right, and these have the same notches. I really like Thor in Infinity War, and I really like Thor Ragnarok too. And Thor was never like my main character. It wasn't like I didn't care about Thor really. He was just Thor. You know what can I say? But I got to tell you, man, with Thor Ragnarok, and Thor in Infinity War. I like Thor. He's my guy now. Spider-Man's always going to be my guy. Iron Man definitely became my dude. Captain America and I never really connected. I love Captain America. No problem with him. Just, I don't know. I don't know why. I do wish I had bought all the Captain Americas. See, originally, I think I told you guys before, originally I was just like, oh, I only need one of each figure. I just need one Black Widow. I need all the Iron Man. But I was like, I don't need all the Black Widows, and I don't need all the Captain Americas. And man, I sure do now. Of course, my wife doesn't like hearing that. She tolerates my hobby, and I love her very much. And when you have a wife that loves you, no matter what, that is a good thing. Especially if she tolerates your hobby. Especially if your hobby is collecting Hot Toys 1/6 scale figures. Because as you know, they require a lot of space. This one went in. I don't like how it went in though. Kind of out like that. I suppose it's supposed to be that way though. Don't know. Or maybe these others are in the wrong spots. But let's get him lit up. I'll turn off the lights here. Yeah, those ankles are loose. I need to plug those into a switch. Here we go. Oh, well, I can tell from the back here, this is lit up well. I like that. And then, we have these pieces that which would go on his arms as well. So they would come up here. So I'm definitely going to be posing him with these arms, the suited arms. No doubt about that. Wow, look how bright that is. That looks really nice. I'm digging that. I really need to get the soap reactor AC pieces for these figures. This dude needs to be lit up. Spider-Man needs to be lit up. Mark 46, 47 need to be lit up. There's some that no doubt about it need to be lit up. This is definitely one of them. God, he looks great. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if it's dark enough, but that really looks great. I'm loving that. Sheesh. I wish I'd opened this guy earlier. Like I said, I really was hoping to get the Black Panther because of the UV on him. I guess his eyes light up, and I guess these all glow as well. But sheesh, no, this is right on. This is right on target, man. Right on. So, I've had you guys about an hour. Anything you want to talk about? Anything we should go over? Anything y'all want to discuss? Let's get his cape back on. I like his cape. If I don't have any figures next week come in, I'm going to unbox this Chitauri Foot Soldier and Commander 2-pack that I have. I have the Chitauri Commander and the Chitauri Foot Soldier, but the 2-pack came with, I think, an extra gun or something. Don't remember. Uh-oh. Okay, so as I was playing with this little piece here, let's turn this light back on. I need two hands to control these lights. I need to plug them into a switch instead of spinning them up the back. So as I was trying to get this cape on, this little guy right here just disconnected from this. So the rest of them are still connected to it, but that one did. So you want to be careful with these. I sold my Asmus, Stanton, and Mason mask the other day and shipped it off to the United Kingdom. I've not received notification yet that it has made it. I hope he is pleased with it. I loved the Mask movie, and the figure is really nice. I just I couldn't connect with the figure. You know, doesn't that sound weird? It's like some of my figures I love no matter, you know, like my Iron Mans, Iron Men. What would it be? Because it's an Iron Man. There are men, but I suppose it would still be Spider-Man's, Iron Man's. I don't think you would say Iron Men, because the man is part of the title. So I would believe it would be Iron Man's. Something for discussion there. All right. Let's discuss what figures will go on pre-order for Endgame. Oh my God. I'm wondering what is going to continue coming out for Infinity War. I hope they're not done, because I really want the Black Order, dude. I really want someone the size of freaking Hulk and Igor. You know what I mean? Right there. Another little piece that just got all loose. Be careful with these little effects here. Be careful with the effects. Which hand does Thor carry Stormbreaker in? Both? Let's put it in his left hand. On, how you doing, man? But I hope we get the Black Order. Dude, unfortunately, you know, they gave us um the weapons, which is never a good sign. You know what I mean? So when Captain America comes with the spears that the figures use, I mean, that's almost like an indication that we're not going to get the figures. The spear is all we're going to get. And if that's the case, man, that totally bites. I also want, you know, more of the figures from Black Panther. I want his guard. I forget their names. The ladies that wear the red. I want some warriors. I want some of the other characters. I mean, there's so many characters that are important to me that are a part of this. You know, we got Shuri, and that's it. I mean, that's kind of weak, in my opinion. By the way, sometimes these wrists are super tight to get a peg in them. So I use a little needle nose pliers, stick it in there and spread it out a little bit. And that way I can pop it on to the peg. So if I can't get it on the peg easy, I'll spread it out a little bit with the little needle nose pliers. I'm not trying to permanently damage it. I just want it loose for a period. And you're just stretching it enough just for a moment so that you can get in there and put that on there. Should have gone for the head. Should have gone for the head. So I suppose if I'm displaying him in Stormbringer mode, I'll be displaying him without the eye patch, right? Did I put this on upside down? Sure did. The wrong side on. Because Rocket, of course, Rabbit had given him his eye. Rocket. He ain't right, man. That dude is not right. There we go. Get you there. Get you here. Then I put that hand on there and I need to put his little effects on. I like the little effects. I had a hard time with Scarlet Witch's little flames. Could never get those exactly where I wanted them to work good. I have the Avenger Scarlet Witch and the new Avenger Scarlet Witch, of course. And I depicted the flames differently with both of them. There we go. I'm kind of missing him without his helmet, but he's a handsome enough man. He doesn't always need a helmet, right? So this is how I'm doing my Thor. Something to this effect. I don't know, I might put him in a flight pose. Might have him coming down. I'd do his, like, one knee up kind of thing. That's tight. He didn't have much movement here. I didn't really talk about that, did I? Double jointed knee. Of course, articulated ankle. Really movable there. But not much movement here. I mean, that's it. There. There. And out to that. So I suppose if I were to put him into a flight pose, it would be something to this effect. With the hammer. Stormbringer up. Kind of like this, maybe. Maybe put some fist on him over here. Kind of pose him like that. There's no wire in the cape, so there's no posing of the cape. Suppose if you really wanted to stick a wire in there, you could. Sometimes they come with wires. This one does not. And this is tall enough to be able to get him in a good flight pose, because you can put this lobster claw right up top, and it's the new lobster claws that they're using now, which slide up and down to the height that you wish. And if you can find one that is this length here, taller or shorter, you can put it in here. The other ones, but if it's longer, it won't work well. If it's too short, it won't work well. But you can interchange them with this as well if you don't like that piece. And also, if you don't like this piece, you can put in there the crotch grabber too. So the crotch grabber will fit in that also. So there's Thor. I'm loving him. He will go over here on the shelf. My Thor Ragnarok. I'm going to have a Ragnarok shelf. I've got my Hulk here. I got to pose those two fighting each other. I have to have my Ragnarok shelf. I'm going to get Thor over here. And then, of course, I've got to get my Hulkbuster posed up with my Hulk. Where do I have my Hulk at right now? Hulk's in there with my Avengers Age of Ultron. I need another Hulk. Need another Hulk. That's all there is to that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. You got anything else you want to talk about? We also have. Let's back up here. How many figures we're really going to get? Oh, let's back up. I missed some of that chat. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I start running my mouth and I don't pay attention to what's being said. Do I think we'll get the black? I hope we get the Black Order, Han. I really do. Engate Cap Ronan. Yes, Ronan. Oh my God. Mark 85. War Machine. Hulk, Nebula, all orders for me. All, you know, it's a definite order for me. The only thing, like I said, the only one I'm kind of passing on, and I'm struggling with this. I'm probably going to end up getting it. Is the War Machine Punisher, only because I'm not familiar with the storyline. But it's a gosh darn same War Machine, and Punisher is awesome. And if I could get a hold of that Netflix Punisher, I wish I'd gotten a hold of that doggone thing. I'd really like to use that Frank Castle head in it. Even though the head that they are providing with this future fight War Machine kind of looks like the comic heads, you know what I'm saying? It works. I don't really have a connection to the comic characters. But of course, the Frank Castle from the Netflix show, I do. I also enjoyed the Punisher that was made, well, was it like early 2000s? That was kind of okay movie as well. So, but that's probably what I do. If they're interchangeable, I would enjoy having. Well, I would never take the head off anyhow. I'll be using the helmet as it is because it's the whole thing about the Punisher, right? Really curious how many in-game Hot Toys figures we're gonna get. Me too, man. I hope we get them all. I really hate not getting figures like Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man. We really need the Yellow Jacket Hot Toys. Come on, you showed it, and the rest of the Iron Legion. They gave us number 3. They showed us number 1. We never got a number 1. Except for Thor, everyone has a new costume. We also have the quantum suits. You talking about the rescue suits? I'm definitely getting those. Right? Is that what they're calling them, the quantum suits? And Thanos is going to wear the armor again. Yeah, because we really kind of missed that with Infinity War. He took the armor off. He had the armor on in the beginning of the movie, obviously, but he took it off. It was good looking armor. It was really shiny compared to the Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos. Armor is kind of dull. I really hope we get Nebula. Yes, God, we need Nebula. Oh my God. Thomas, how you doing, man? Welcome. Cap Ronan. What is Mark 85? Rick, I'm really ignorant, I guess. What is Mark 85? Nebula, War Machine, Hulk, and Widow. History shows 13 through 15 Avengers figures. Really? 13 to 15. That's a good bit, man. That is a good bit. I'm going to be selling my Alien Girl Hot Toys Hot Angel series. Alien Girl, by the way. If any of y'all want that, let me know. Save me some eBay and PayPal fees. Happy to sell it to you. And I'm selling my Crazy Toys Hulk. He's not quite 1/6. He's a little bit short, but he works. I mean, because in all honesty, Hulk grows, so you can display him in that manner as well. And I only paid, I don't know, $40 for it, maybe $50. I don't remember. So I would gladly sell it to you for the same. He's a good looking figure. And I have a Mark 33 Silver Centurion that I busted up in little bitty pieces. Like I thought I was going to paint it into a blue steel, and that never happened. I started on the task, and I was like, yeah, this ain't going to work. I'm thinking about selling all those parts. So if y'all want like a Mark 33 busted into pieces in case you're trying to make like an inside-outside figure, you won't be able to build him back into an all Mark 33. I doubt all the pieces are there. But it's a box, also, in case you need to know the box. I'm try to sell that. Give us diecast Ultron Hot Toys. They need to make the, what is it, Ultron Prime? Because we didn't get that. We got the Ultron, but we didn't get the final incarnation of him. There's more pieces to him that we never got. and we never got the, what were they called? The little Sentinels pieces. So we got the Ultron Mark One, we got these little busts of them. Where do I got it at? Oh, it's in there in my Ultron, Age of Ultron thing. We got the little destroyed little bust, but we never got the Sentinels. There's a point where obviously Disney's going to keep cranking out these movies. Obviously, there's going to be these figures available for us. Um, so it's not like Hot Toys is going to run out of figures to make, but we really need to get the ones that we don't have. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that we don't not get them. Like, what was it? The Rhino from Spider-Man with Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, it was a weak character, and they showed it, and they never made it. And that's what always bites. You know, it's such a tease. You see it, and you're like, yeah, I'll get that, although I probably wouldn't have bought it. But then when they don't release it, it's like, what in the world? And then, out of the blue, one day, they'll release a figure that you thought they would never release. For instance, they showed the Mark III Stealth, the blue one with the red arc reactor, back in, I don't know, 2012 or something. And then out of the blue in like 2015, they announced it. Of course, I bought it, but and I like the figure, but it's one of those, why, really? I mean, it depicts the stealth version of him in the comics or whatever, but it wasn't a necessary figure. But they did eventually release it. So sometimes they do that. Other times the scenes that we'll never get. For instance, the Millennium Falcon Cockpit. Hello. I know some of you guys are also Star Wars fans too. And I mean, who wouldn't want the Millennium Falcon Cockpit? Come on. Couldn't have the whole Millennium Falcon. Howard's got the whole Millennium Falcon. Thing's freaking huge. Size of an entire two-car garage. That'd be sweet though, wouldn't it? And over here's my Millennium Falcon. 1/6 scale. Oh yeah. Had to had to buy a new house just to be able to display the Millennium Falcon. Mark 85 is what they're calling in-game armor, like how 50 skipped 48 and 49. Really? Where'd you see that? I mean, I'm not saying you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, where'd you see that? Wiki, maybe? Do you think we'll ever get that Vulture? Oh, dude, the Vulture would be freaking sweet. Ah. It's nice whenever you see an actor change universes. For instance, Ryan Reynolds did Green Lantern and then nailed Deadpool. Ben Affleck started off as the Daredevil in the movie Daredevil, which was all right. And then he became Batman. And Michael Keaton was obviously the 1989 Batman, the Batman. And now he's the Vulture. So, yeah, I would hope that Michael Keaton would be pushing that. I would hope he would say, yeah, frickin' make the Vulture. I mean, I imagine he gets some money off of those, so why would he not want it? Right? They've got his licenses already for the Batman. Don't they make a Michael Keaton Batman? Hot Toys? So I would hope that they would do a Vulture. Oh, man, what would it be, this big? Yeah, that'd be sweet. Kind of like my Falcon. I love my Falcon. Huge piece. That's a crazy toy Hulk I have over here, because I don't have an original Hulk. I've got I bought the Crazy Toys Hulk, and he's a little bit larger than 1/6 scale, but it works because again, in the Hulk movie with Edward Norton, Hulk really gets larger he grows like the angrier he gets. And ever since then, in the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Hulk seems to be one size when he hulks out. He doesn't seem to be smaller or larger. Um, but obviously, in that Hulk movie, I forget what it was called, Incredible Hulk or whatever it was, he he's larger than he is in the remaining Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. So that's why I bought that because it works. They didn't skip Mark. No, I don't think they did it either. I think we will get a Mark 48 and a 49. Skip all quantum suit hot toys. I don't feel like I can attach to them. Regular versions will be fine for me. I will definitely be getting the quantum suits, no doubt about it, especially Pepper's rescue suit. Jin, how you doing, man? Mark 48 is the Iron Spider suit. Mark 49 is the Hulkbuster 2. I mean, that's possible. I made a video talking about that, and that was my opinion on that. And as things have progressed, I'm not so sold on that. I'm not so 100% on that as how it actually happened. Um, I mean, in my video, I theorized that I made about a year ago. And I still kind of think about that in that manner, but I'm not 100% still believing that's really what the case as regards to the Mark 48 49. 49 is probably the Hulkbuster, or actually 48 is probably Hulkbuster 2. One thing Bruce Banner says to Thanos, I think it is, he says, this suit already kicked Hulk's ass, or something to that effect. I don't remember. Which leads you to believe that it was really an upgraded version of the same suit. Like he disassembled it and reassembled it. Um, but that doesn't make sense because it looks like it's smaller than the original Hulkbuster. It doesn't appear to be the same size as the original Hulkbuster. So that doesn't make much sense. Once they scale Death Star, oh my god. That's no moon. Mark 48 is the Iron Spider, and yes, Green Lantern. Yeah, right. I like that at the end of Deadpool 2. God, that was so funny where he used the time traveling device to go back and correct some things. They said Iron Spider is not an armor in an interview. Really? I really hate when they show a figure and never get to release it. Yes, they showed us so many awesome Star Wars figures. Oh my God, yes. Like the I don't know what you'd call. It's not really the speeder that Ray drives. Was it Ray that was driving that like speeder thing, or was it Jenner? So you know, confused sometimes. And so that, and of course the speeder on Tatooine from the original Star Wars, which later became Star Wars #4, A New Hope, and that'd be cool to have. They never showed us that, but that'd be cool to have. And definitely the Millennium Falcon cockpit. Uh, yeah, it was the race speeder, wasn't it? Rogue One Poe. Yeah, yeah. None of them got released. I know. What the hell. Like I was saying, the Iron Legion. You know, they showed us #1 and they gave us #3. I want 1, 2, 3. I want 1, 2, 4, and 5. I want all 5 of them. You know, I'm working on all the armors. You know, I've got all the ones that they've ever made. The only ones I don't have are the ones that haven't been released yet. And I want the rest of them. We talked about that before, where I think what they're doing is they're waiting on the diecast to come out because a lot of the suits are based off of the Mark 7. Now there are specific suits like the Mark 37. What was that one called? Hammerhead, I think, and the Mark 16. Right? So we're missing 15, 20. Yeah, 16. Both of those are unique, and they don't have any pieces from any of the other suits. So those two are the only ones that are unique. All the other ones are based off of suits that are already in existence. And I think what they're going to do is, after the Mark 7 diecast comes out, or at least I hope that's what they're going to do, they're going to re-release those that are Mark 7 tie-ins and continue on with the rest of them. So, like, for instance, the Silver Centurion would have to be die-casted as well. They need to redo the Mark 3 because the die-cast version came out and it's not as nice as the newer die-cast ones. So they also need to revisit the Mark 3. And it's so funny talking about this. There's these figures are not cheap under any circumstance, as you all know. And it just goes and 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 goes. And the room, I mean, I'm out of room here. I don't know where I'm going to put all the rest of these figures. This is a 9 feet by 7 feet I have. And I've got, like, as you can see, the space on here is totally consumed with figures. I need to put more shelves up. I need to get glass cabinets. Or put glass on these cabinets. No, I need custom cabinets. That's what I need. And that's as much as figures as well. You know, sheesh. Never-ending battle. And then it's like, okay, time to sell the figures. Yeah, no, I can't sell these. Man, I love these figures way too much. My wife's like, you should sell that one. Oh, I can't sell that. You should sell that one. No, I can't sell that one. I love that figure. Well, you should sell that one. Oh, man, I can't sell that one. I love that figure. Boo-ba-doo-doo. Saving all my money for the hot toys for the next Avengers movie, such as War Machine's new armor. I understand they have a sneak peek of War Machine's new armor in the new trailer that came out. Does anyone have an idea why the Star Wars hot toys do not hold their value as much as other hot toys? I didn't know they weren't holding their value. But what happens is if the figure doesn't sell out and it's still readily available, then you end up having a figure that can be readily accessed. But other than that, I don't know why one would go cheaper than what you paid for it originally. Now, you have to take into consideration like shipping and handling and tax if you're talking about throwing that into the price of the figure. But if it's a figure that is a loved figure, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be, you know, still making money. Now, unfortunately, the Mark 38 Igor, you can still buy brand spanking new from Big Bad Toy Store with a rebate of like $125 or something like that. So you today could buy that figure for less than what I paid for it. And that bites. I mean, that really bites. But it's a cool figure. I mean, I seriously recommend this guy. If you don't have one of these and you're into Iron Man figures, you're really missing out. He is a really, 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 really cool figure. And he gives you the feeling of being durable. I don't have much worry over him. He stands up well. So, and he's good looking. And he to me, he looks like he just needs to be hugged. He looks like a little kid. He's like, oh, come here, I want to give you a hug. Oh, give my little Igor a hug. It's a good little Igor. Yeah. So those obviously don't hold their value. So if that's the case with the Star Wars figures where they just made so many of them, like Bruce Banner, you can still buy a Bruce Banner new. You know, if they're still being sold for brand new, then that's going to be a problem. So you'd have to examine that to see what's going on. I can't imagine all Star Wars figures not holding their value. Unless it happens to be a revolt against Star Wars merchandise. There, you know, if people were doing that, well, then that would explain that. I don't care what anyone says. I love the prequels. Episode 5 is my favorite Star Wars movie, but prequels are better in my opinion. I think the first prequel was the one that was so difficult to swallow. You know, when the very first Star Wars came out in 1977, and I was reading all the little material and articles that came out, and back then George Lucas was talking about how the Star Wars was the middle story. He told us then that there were 9 stories, and he decided to start with the middle because he didn't feel that the beginning stories were strong enough to capture an audience's attention, to be worth really telling. But he had it all in his mind. It was all there for the most part of how it was all going down. Even then, he told us that he said it back in an interview then that Obi-Wan Kenobi was responsible for Darth Vader's condition. What they'd said back then, or if I remember what he'd said back then, was that through a duel he had knocked Darth Vader into a volcano, and that's how he ended up the way that he was. And as if you remember from the movie, it really wasn't the volcano that it became as a story, but like the whole planet was like a dying planet or something, wasn't it? Wasn't it the whole case? So that was the problem with the first three stories. Was even then Lucas knew that there was a problem with them, and the first one was so hard to swallow. But yeah, two and three were really good. I like two and three, and I really like Rogue One. I think Rogue One is a really strong movie. Talking about prequels, oh my goodness, the end of that when we're brought back into A New Hope, where it just bleeds endlessly, seamlessly right into it. Oh man, and you get to see Darth Vader. You know, really for the newer generation that didn't grow up with it like we did, the older generation, and to watch the transition of Darth becoming Darth, Anakin becoming Darth Vader, and then seeing how Darth Vader is such a dark character. Ah, jeez, Rogue One. Oh my God, really like Rogue One. Really, really liked it a lot. I'm debating on the re-release Mark 43. I have a Mark 43, obviously. Love my Mark 43. Got it over there in my Age of Ultron display. So Mark 43 would be great to have here. You wouldn't go with the Hall of Armor because he's after the Hall of Armor. Mark 42 is part of the Hall of Armor, but he goes with the Hulkbuster. But Hulkbuster is going to be displayed fighting Hulk. So I don't need to see him in there. So I struggle with that. Do I need to get another Mark 43 for that reason? I don't know. It's the exact same figure. It's hard to say. I struggle with that. How would you recommend it as my only Thor figure? This guy as your only Thor figure. Well, he's versatile, as because you can display him with his bare arms. You can display him with or without this, which looks really good lit up. You can display him with or without the eye piece. If this Thor speaks to you, okay, if this Thor is where you really get your connection with Thor, then by all means, definitely, this is one to get. It's not one to pass, you know, especially if you're doing an Infinity War collection because he works. He has his eye, the eye that Rocket Raccoon gave him. He has both eye patches, so you can display either one of those. You can display him bare armed or armored arm. It's not really an armor, but in his uniform. You can display him with or without the cape. So he's really versatile in that manner. And he's short-haired Thor, which is cool. To say your only Thor, it depends on if he speaks to you and what you're going for. If you're building an Age of Ultron collection, no, he doesn't work there. He'd work in Ragnarok, kinda, with the other guys, but not really. So it depends on where you are, what your opinion is. I like him, and I like that he's versatile, but he's not my only Thor. This is my third Thor. I only have the three. I've got Age of Ultron, Ragnarok, and Infinity War. Not that I wouldn't have bought the original Thor and the Dark World Thor. I just never did. So I'm happy to have him, but he doesn't have Mjolnir. So again, that falls into what's your opinion of what Thor is, as to whether or not it should be the only Thor that you would want to get. The Sword Troopers from Rogue One went up in value. Really? Are those the ones that were made by Hot Toys, or are those the sideshow stormtroopers, the sword troopers there? Well, we don't know run counts. No, we don't. They did it on only, I think, 2 figures, maybe 3 figures. Did they ever tell us exactly how many they made of them? And after that, they never told. Pardon me. They never told us how many they made of these, so we have no idea. And on top of that, like they've shown us with the re-release of the Mark 43, even if they did a limited edition, or you thought there'd be a limited edition of them, or you couldn't buy it new anymore, next thing you know, you turn around, they're re-releasing the Mark 42, re-releasing the Mark 43, re-releasing the Hulkbuster, and it's the exact same figures. And that sometimes it really chaffs my hide. Other times I'm like, well, I'd like to get another one of those as well, but come on. You buy these, I guess, for 2 reasons. 1, because you like it. 2, because you hope it becomes collectible and goes up in value one day at Antiques Roadshow when you're 90 years old. Like, oh yeah, I remember I used to collect those figures right there, and now they're worth $10,000. I'll buy me a new Hyundai with that. Return of the Jedi is extremely popular, but I have a feeling Hot Toys overproduced. That's possible, Thomas. I think that's possible. Meanwhile, Hella is sold out. Really? But I can pretty much guarantee a Hella sales numbers are lower than Luke from Return of the Jedi. Yeah, you're talking about Hela from Thor Ragnarok. I can guarantee that too. I can say this with figures like Marvel Select figures. Okay, we're talking about the little 6-inch figures where they put them in packs and they make like all the figures. You'll have a wider selection of those scale figures of every single character if you were to collect those than you do like in the 1/6 scale figures. So on those, when they make like a run of them, and it's only because they don't sell that many of them, the female figures are always more limited than the male figures. And I imagine that's the same with these. Because what's happened, for instance, Scarlet Witch, I think you can still buy one of the Scarlet Witches brand new from Big Bag Toy Store. So that's always scary whenever they make a figure that's still available for brand new. So they when they come out with another one, I imagine they didn't think Hella would be that popular. They make less of them. So, but Hot Toys has proved to us that they'll just re-release a figure that's sold out. What a bitch. It's over. I have the high ground. Dumb Anakin still jumps. I'm not sure. Oh, right. What the hell? It's over. I have the high ground. What the hell? Give up. Fights to the end, man. Fights to the end. It's almost like you think Obi should have just killed him just to put him out of his misery. Because Anakin was just out of it. But it really wouldn't be the way to do that. You know what I'm saying? The Jedi's, they love life. They hate taking a life. The sabers aren't designed, well, they are. The purpose of them wasn't to kill. You know what I mean? You think they will cover up the screws in the new Mark 43? The new Mark 43 is the identical piece. It's even the same MMS number. So if they make an improvement to a figure, they change out the MMS number. It gets a new MMS number. If it's a new version of it, it's a new stock version of it. The Mark 43 truthfully is a reissue. It is identical to what it was. There's no difference whatsoever. It even has the same MMS number. Now, Sideshow has given it a different stock number on their end, a different 90 number or whatever it is. That number is new. Okay? But Hot Toys released it as the exact same MMS number. So all the screw holes, everything that was in there is going to be there. And the legs are going to be the same and everything. So that's the Mark 43. Green Weeboo, how you doing, man? I so wish that he got the helmet along with the chainmail. Yeah, this guy, yeah, he needed the helmet. I agree. But I'm displaying all the other ones with the helmet. I'm displaying my Thor Ragnarok with the helmet. I'm displaying my Age of Ultron with the helmet. So this guy's getting it without the helmet. So I guess it's good as far as that goes. Hot Toys better start one their own first 10 years series. Toys better start one of their own first 10-year series. What do you mean, like, Hot Toys has been around for longer than 10 years. So what are you talking about? They used to make, the Hot Toys started off making military action figures. And so there's, I don't know what you mean. Sorry, Greenway, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't understand people who buy toys and wait for them to go up in value. That's what I'm doing. I'm buying these and waiting for them to go up in value. Do you mean maybe the people who buy them and never take them out of the box waiting for them to go up in value? Now, for Hot Toys, I think that's insane. I mean, I understand people do that, and I'm happy for them because I enjoy buying like an older figure that's never been removed from the box, straight from the box, straight still in the shipper, never been touched. That'd be great to get a hold of, like a Leonidas. Maybe not a Leonidas. Ooh, a Loki Thor um, first movie, Thor. That would be nice to have straight out of the box. So, for that, but come on, I want my figures out. They're all out to be played with. Um, like when I sold my mask, I unboxed it, looked at it, never displayed them, put them right back in the box. I never had any connection with them. But these guys, I mean, every one of them are out. Every one of them are out on the shelf, showing off. Love them. I love looking at them. I love having them. My in my other room, my Age of Ultron shelf with my marks. I have a Mark II in a gantry, the Mark II Armor Unleashed in a gantry. I have my Mark III Fighting Ironmonger. I have a Mark IV in a gantry. I have my Mark Vs here. I've got a bunch of them. I have uh, three Mark Vs, two there. One's a die-cast, one's original, and then I have original up here. I've got the Whiplash. I've got a Mark VI in the King Arts 1/9 um, gantry in there, and then I have Mark VI fighting Whiplash 2 with my original diecast War Machine fighting them. So I have them in there. Those I see for hours a day while I'm in there working system, being a system administrator and all that on my real job. They're right there, and I love looking at my figures. I had Stan Lee in there at times. He's motivational to me. I got him down here in the bottom, kind of with my I don't really know what to do with him shelf. So like I have the Mandarin down there because I really don't know what to do with him, and I have my Daredevil down there because again I really don't know what to do with him, and I have my Stanley next to my Daredevil, and then I have a Nier Automata that I bought because I thought she's cool. Because I dig figures with white hair. I dig figures that are different, like the Lady Death figures, and the I wanted to get the Purgatory, but I ran out of money, couldn't afford to buy it, and that's why I kind of really want the Nebula, and I like Gamora. So I'd like to get some blue figures. That'd be cool. Also, kind of have a shelf where I've got my from Scooby Doo. I've got Daphne and Thelma because I don't really know what to do with them yet either. Are you getting the Sentinel re-edit diecast comic version of Iron Spider? I am planning on getting that. Yes, I've heard some people say they didn't care for it. Dude, I think that's dead on. It's a little different, but it's representative of it's a necessity in my opinion. From my understanding, also it's a little shorter than like the other Spider-Man. It doesn't matter, man. It looks good. Yeah, I would like to get that. I'm gonna see if I can scrape up some money. It's so difficult, man. Spend all my money on all my figures. It's like being addicted to drugs or something. No. First Loki from Thor was canceled just to make room for Avengers movie Loki. Oh, is that what it was? So it wasn't the Thor Loki, it was the Avengers. Yeah. You're right. That's the one. But that's the one I want. I need to get that Loki. I've got my Loki from the Avengers is really he's in his suit when he went to the thing to get the eyeball in order to get the piece from the collection that they had there. So I have him in his suit. But I'd like to get an Avengers Loki, definitely. There needs to be another Stan Lee Hot Toys figure. They made two Stan Lees. Hot Toys made one, and then Executive Replicas made one. And I was going to buy that Executive Replicas. I kept saying I needed to buy that, I needed to buy it. Because he had the different beard. He had the Stan Lee from a movie that he did. I forget what the movie was, Mallrats or something. I forget what it was. And I was like, God, I need to get that. I need to get that. Never did. So I'm glad I got that Stan. Stan the man. I'm glad I got that. So thanks for watching, guys. You got anything else that y'all want to talk about? I love every one of you, man. I'm so happy to have you. I really appreciate you guys spending time with me and going over the figures and talking about things. And I really like y'all watching my videos and interacting with me. And I try to respond to every message that you guys send out. So don't think that I don't read them. And if I don't respond, it's not because I haven't read it. Sometimes it's just that I don't get around to responding to them. But I think I've tried to respond to every single message I've ever gotten on YouTube. By the way. He was had like on a suit coat, and different pair of glasses. The So compared to this one, which is kind of like a members only jacket, I think is what he was wearing in this one. But he was kind of like wearing a suit coat. And he had a different. He had a beard, and it was made by Executive Replicas. Made that, who makes a lot of figures with Bison. So it probably was a Bison figure actually that was put out through Executive Replicas. Watch in-game Super Bowl spot, please. It's amazing. All right, Rick, I will do that. Definitely, I will do that. No doubt about it. Will there a Super Bowl discussion stream? I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I'm embarrassed to say that. No, I'm not. Not really. I haven't watched football in a couple of decades, actually. I never really was a big fan of it. And then I used to just watch the Super Bowl, but now I don't even mess around with that anymore. Just like don't even care. Thank you, Noble. Thank you, man. Really appreciate all of y'all. And I do. I look forward to seeing you guys. I mean, I hope that I give you quality stuff. And I'm sorry for not doing all this stuff that I used to do. Sheesh. I started the Captain Marvel video yesterday. Still working on the video for the Hall of Armor. Um, what was the other one I started working on? I started working on different Bison figure videos. I start them. I do a lot of work on them, and they get stuck in the editing suite. That's as far as it gets. So Super Bowl was terrible this year. I'd heard some people say that, and I'd heard other people say it's terrible if you wanted a lot of offense. I heard it was a huge defensive game where they kept them from getting any points. I don't even know what the score was. I don't even know who won. I imagine the Patriots won, but and I don't even know who the Patriots played. Uh, was was it cheat? No, I don't even know. I don't even know who they played. So, but that's what I heard. I heard it was a huge defensive game where not a lot of points went up, and so that's why I've heard that people complain. One thing I noticed here on this figure is that they put a little. The insides here are metal, so on some figures, what happens is the wrists they get worn out. They don't go in and out well, and so you end up having to figure out ways of getting them going in there. So it looks like they're changing out things because they put metal in here on these arms, which will aid, I imagine, in keeping the wrists and the pegs working together properly. I wanted to point that out. I noticed that as I was doing this, and I like also the arm has the hair. I don't remember the hair being on the other arms. I don't remember if they're on there or not, but I like that. I think that's cool. By the way, I want to share that. A couple of things I forgot to mention as I was going through all of these different things. We didn't talk about the hands either. He comes with fists, relaxed hands, and these kind of like not really grasping but outstretched hands. He comes complete enough to do whatever you wanted to do with him. And you also, so here's one of the relaxed hands, and then the grasping hands for holding Stormbringer, and then fists, clenching or punching fists. Toy Story 4, excited for I am. I liked all the Toy Story movies. 4? Yeah, 4? Kidding me. I, I do have to admit though that I'm really nervous about movies that are coming out where they are a continuation from a movie that was a long time ago. Because it seems that sometimes the writers or the directors didn't grasp the movie or even see the movie the way you and I seen the movie. So when we seen the movie back then, the 90s for instance, Toy Stories, and the early 2000s, um, times were the way that times were. You know what I mean? And now times are the way that times are. And people think differently now than we did then, be it for the better or worse. And what happens is you'll get a new writer in there that wants to inflict their opinion on things. And it's always that way, believe it or not. There's always somebody that's giving you their opinion on things, if that makes sense, and putting it into a movie. You know, people say that Star Trek has become really weird in that regard. Star Trek always was kind of opinionated like that, but it just seems more aggressive now than it ever has before. And I am so scared of going to a movie now and having to go through a morality drill, you know, or having to go through an education on how I should be thinking or how all the thinking I've been doing for all these years is wrong. So, one way or the other, it makes me nervous about that. If the writer is the exact same writer that the original was, even that is scary because I don't know if they're still on that same process. I think as long as they follow the same opinion, follow the same idea, and don't go trying to rewrite it into something different than what it was originally, then I'm cool with that. And it's so scary nowadays whenever they make these movies that I'm like, God, geez, what are they going to do now? You know, for instance, Captain Marvel. I'm really looking forward to it, but I don't think the writers have proven themselves, as far as I'm concerned, in an action flick like what Captain Marvel is supposed to be. And kind of what that ends up becoming is like Ang Lee Hulk. So the first Hulk was done by Ang Lee, and it was a whole lot of story about Hulk and his family, about Bruce Banner and his family, which I didn't care for. I didn't want to go to a Bruce Banner and his family movie. The movie wasn't called, you know, Meet the Banners. The movie wasn't Bruce Banner and my dad. But that's what the movie was. It was called Hulk, and that's what I wanted to see. I want to see Hulk, and I want to see Hulk smash, and I want to see Hulk go through the problems that Hulk goes through. I want to see Bruce Banner having to deal with the Hulk. I don't want to see Bruce Banner having to deal with his family. You know, I'm happy that we have that in that regards, you know, because it's nice to know these things. But when that becomes the entire movie, then I got a problem with that. It's like these television shows I watch on TV. All of a sudden, a new writer will come through and they'll rewrite an episode in a television series, and the series will be called, you know, X, because that's who the story is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about this person that the series is called. And all of a sudden, the majority of an episode will be about a side character, and then that continues on, and all of a sudden, this person that the name of the series is named after no longer is what the story is, and the story ends up being about this other person. It's like, well, that's not what I wanted to watch. You know, I'm not watching this because that. Stick to the original plan. That's why you hooked me in the first place, and it makes it difficult to follow along in the multiple episodes. So I hate recommending television shows because I'm in a series where I'm, you know, 2 or 3 seasons into it, and I'm like, God, this is nothing like the first season, and I don't even want to talk about it anymore because I'd hate to send someone to go watch it because the first season is amazing, and you get into the second season, it's like new writers or something. It's like, what in the world? This isn't the way things are supposed to be. It's not how it was originally. I wasn't watching it because of this. Dude, the original, I mean, the Aquaman from Aquaman looks amazing. With the gold and the green, I mean, that's Aquaman, dude. That's on target. And I think it all sold out, and I did not get it. And I don't have any DC figures. I don't have any Wonder Women. Wonder Women? I don't have any Wonder Woman. I don't have any Batmans. I don't have any Supermans. And not because I don't respect and like those guys. It's just, where am I going to put them? I don't have the money to buy the Marvel figures. But no, I'd love that Aquaman. Oh, that Aquaman is dead on. That is Aquaman. If you are an Aquaman fan or even remotely liking Aquaman or want to add him to your collection, go for it. 100%. If he's still available, if you can find him, get him. Definitely. Incredible Hulk was great, yeah. And the first Ang Lee Hulk isn't even considered canon. It's not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's outside of it. They rebooted that and said, yeah, we're done with that. That doesn't tie in. Although I think wasn't the General carried over from the first Hulk, or was he only from the Edward Norton? The Edward Norton Hulk definitely is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That Hulk is Hulk. even though we have Mark Ruffalo playing Bruce Banner, not Edward Norton, because Edward Norton's like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. That Hulk is Hulk, but the original Ang Lee Hulk is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Hulk, in case you didn't know that. So, gosh, almost 2 hours. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. And like I said, if I don't have anything next week that comes in, I will be unboxing this. And I already have the figures, and I like them. They're PVC, which is what I think the same thing that the Hulkbuster 2 is, and kind of the material that Captain Marvel suit is going to be made out of. So I'll be opening this up next week, if nothing else. And just talking about things, just like we did today. I'll give you room tours, whatever you guys want, man. I pretty much do whatever you guys ask. If you want to see room tours, I'll take you on a tour of the room, show you all the figures. And I have no problem doing that. Hot Toys Ant-Man come soon. Ant-Man and Wasp. Yeah, they're scheduled to be released soon, aren't they? That Wasp figure looks great. Love it. Yep, Rick, thank you very much. You too. See y'all definitely next week. And I'm going to see if I can't get that Captain Marvel and my Hall of Armor up this week. Buy that Hall of Armor, dude. If you don't have a Hall of Armor and you're looking for a Hall of Armor, might as well get it. Might as well get it now. It's pretty much the same price that I paid for it years ago. And you can't go wrong. And I'm probably going to get another set, maybe for my War Machines, or I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, so by the way, my Mark IV diecast. Oh, you guys might recognize this. I got my Mark IV diecast set up as such, by the way. This is how he's posed. Just sitting down with his little donut, his coffee cup in hand. Little box of donuts here. So of course I have the donut and coffee cup and the box of donuts from the original Mark IV that came out, but it came with the diecast too. So it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Resembling him sitting inside the donut. He didn't have his coffee then, but he definitely had his donut. He sat there. Sir, I'm going to need to ask you to step out of the donut. So that's how I have my Mark IV set up. I got the arm. I ordered a jackhammer arm. I'm on the fence on ordering another Hulkbuster. Because price? I have the original Hulkbuster, of course, and love him, and he's huge, and he's a great piece, and I have no idea how that jackhammer arm is supposed to go on without damaging the figure. It doesn't make any sense to me. I have no idea how it's supposed to go on there. I've examined that piece inside and out. Well, not really inside and out, but closely, trying to see how it's supposed to come out. I don't see how that arm comes out at all. No way. I don't see it. But that's what I ordered. I ordered the jackhammer arm, and then I'm like, God, I need 2 of these. I really do. So I'm struggling with it, man. I am struggling with it. Passing on the arm. So are you going to be getting a second Hulkbuster then, or just staying with the original one without the arm? Just the one. Yep, the one. By the way, so at the end of the 1989 Batman with Joker, that's what this is. By the way, little laughing bag. I don't know if y'all seen that movie or if you remember it. Jack Nicholson. No room for 2. No room for 1. No room for 1. Had to make room for the one that I have. Got him up here on the top with my Hall of Armor. I don't need to put. I got the shelves. I just don't got them up on the wall. I need to have 2 shelves right there, just so I can have Hulkbuster out fighting Hulk, and I need another Hulk, so I can have him posed up against Hulkbuster. And a 1/6 scale Veronica. Jeez, that was loud. A 1/6 scale Veronica. That'd be cool to have. All right, guys. Thanks very much. I'll see you all in the next video. Love you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for liking the videos. They help out a ton. And stay tuned for more stuff coming.